Hey everybody, it is Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. And guess what? It's Wednesday, so I guess you could say it is Watson Wisdom Wednesday. Hey, we're doing this dive into the book of Proverbs. They're full of wisdom, and in today's time, we need wisdom, discernment, and understanding. And thank God that the Holy Spirit inspired Solomon to give us these words of wisdom from the man that was granted the most wisdom that any man has ever had. And so, hey, if you are not yet a subscriber to this YouTube channel, I want to invite you to subscribe to this channel and also hit the little bell so you get notifications. Give us a like, give us a comment. It helps boost the algorithm so we can get sound teaching into the hands and into the ears of people. As you know, there's a lot of crazy teaching out there. It's not always sound. It might sound good, but it's not sound. It's not solid. And so this is a channel that people can rely on to hear true sound doctrine, that they can hear true, clear, prophetic words with no fluff. And if you can help us do that as be a trusted voice and trusted channel in people's lives, we would thank you so much for that. So anyway, I'm sitting here looking at myself, but my collar's all weird. I don't know. You know, my wife, she usually helps me watch the callers before I run out the door. And I guess I was in and out so quick this morning, she didn't get a chance to see my collar. Find you a good woman. Matter of fact, but Proverbs says in chapter 18, we may talk about that when we get there, but you know, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. But today we are in Proverbs chapter 3 for Apostles Watson's Word of Wisdom, specifically today being Wednesday. Verse 1 in chapter 3 says, "My son, do not forget my teaching, but let your heart keep my commandments for length of days and years of life, and peace they will add to you. Do not let kindness and truth leave you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart, so that you will find favor and good repute in the sight of God and man." And then everybody knows verse 5 and 6, right? "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight." So it would be very easy to talk about Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, because that's an easy one, right? Most people have heard that. We talk about that. But let's look into what Proverbs 3, at the beginning of the chapter, comes right out of the gate and says, "My son, do not forget." Everybody say, do not forget. Do not forget what? My teaching. Do not forget my commandments. Let your heart keep my commandments. You know, in this day and time, we've got a lot of things coming at us, a lot of things on our mind. And with so much information coming in, it's easy to forget what God said. I mean, how many times have we got a promise, or we hear a prophetic word, we go to church or to a ministry or to a revival service, we get a prophetic word, and 3 days later, we forgot what God said and we lose our peace? You know, James says that we should not be a forgetful hearer, but a doer. Could the correlation between just hearing and doing be in always remembering and keeping God's precepts, commands, and wisdom upon our heart? Isn't that what it says in verse number 3? It says, "Do not let kindness and truth leave you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart." Hide them away for a rainy day, because we're going to have a rainy day. It's going to, in life, have days where it looks like it's storming. It's in that time that we must have this hidden. We must not forget what God has said. We have to not only, like I said yesterday, seek with everything we have to find the truth. Once we get it, let's not forget it. It's amazing sometimes when you do things for people and then they go through a hard time, and maybe you're not right there in that hard time, in that particular hard time, but they forgot what you said and what you did yesterday in their hard time. but they act like you're never there for them. You ever had that happen? I wonder if that's how God feels about us when he speaks to us and then we start going through something like, God, where are you? And he's like, don't you remember when I was there for you last time and what I did and what I promised? Do you think I won't come through this time? You have to be very intentional about remembering the promises of God. Can it be a lot of work? Yes. Is it worth fighting for? Yes. And if you don't fight, they say if you don't use it, you lose it. If you don't remember it, if you don't be intentional about these things. Let's not forget his promises. Let's remember what God said, what wisdom God released to us. They say live and learn. And they even say that you can learn from your mistakes, but what if you forgot the truth that you learned from the mistake? Now you're repeating the same mistake. They say history repeats itself. Why? Because people forget what happened yesterday and forgot the truths that have been learned through history. What truth have you forgotten? Something I like to do is I got a stack of notebooks, not three-ring binders, but spiral notebooks that I've used and wrote down notes from conferences and things the Holy Spirit told me over the years, and I just keep them. And they look old and there's a lot of material to go through, but I like to just kind of skim through those every so often, like once or twice a year, and I remember the things that I wrote down because I had them wrote down, because I'd almost forgot them. Why do I write those down? Because we have a tendency to forget. And when I read those things, oh yeah, I remember when God said this. Oh, how did I forget that? This applies to what I'm going through right now. God will come through. We're not necessarily quick to forget, but time has a way of allowing us to just, our memory to become dull. And we need those things to be sharpened. We have to be intentional. It's like I'm kind of intentional about once or twice a year going through those. Man, let me tell you, there was a staff meeting I was a part of, at a church I was a part of. That wasn't on staff, but I was in the ministry. I was traveling. They let me come into the room for their staff meeting, and the pastor just poured into all the staff, and he was pouring into me too. And I remember writing those notes down. I had a red ink pen. I wrote down these notes, and in recent situations, I have gleaned from that staff meeting from 11 years ago. It was 11 years ago I was in that staff meeting, and the things I wrote down about particular things that I was that he was addressing, I now know why he said, this is what happens when you do this, this, and this. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Now that I'm in a senior leader role as an apostle, it makes sense. And those things being able to be brought to my remembrance, guess what? They've been a safeguard to me in navigating a few things. So today, what truth has God released to you? And what have you forgotten? Maybe you need to go to prayer. It's like, God, what have I forgotten? What have you told me? What do I need to remember in this time? Don't forget his truth. Be intentional about holding on to it. Treasure it within your heart. Write them on the tablet of your heart that you may not sin against him today. All right? God bless you. This is wisdom. Hey, share this with somebody. There's somebody that needs this wisdom, that needs to remember what God has spoken in the past, what God has said in the past, and today you might be used to them to help them to remember to come out of the situation they're currently in. All right? God bless. We'll see you tomorrow.